Hi peeps, it's Tersse back on the old squat box once again, and tonight I'm basically just getting drunk and watching YouTube comedy shit, you know, stand-up comedy, and I came across this Mencia, I think it's Mencia, Mencia, and I think he's fucking, I mean, I've never seen him before, and to be honest, some of his jokes kind of go past me, but that's because he finishes his punchlines are in, Mexican, and I don't understand Mexican. No, I don't speak Espanol. So, you know, I missed some of his punchlines, but I knew exactly what his lead up was and where he was going with it. He's a very intelligent comedian, and it might seem, a lot of his stuff might seem racist, but he's equally racist against everyone, you know what I mean? He's racist against whites, he's racist against blacks, he's racist against Mexicans, wetbacks and all that sort of stuff. I mean, he goes after everybody and really points out the whole problem we have with immigration and integration of people within our societies. I wish there was a comic like that in Europe at the moment, but we just don't have one, unfortunately. People 20 years ago would have been more prominent in Europe on talking about, would be more prominent talking about this stuff than what we do now, because we have so much sort of like politically correct fucking shit and not being able to speak this shit on TV. But this guy is doing this shit in America, and it is funny. It really is fucking funny. I mean, yes, I miss a lot of the jokes because, as I say, I don't understand these Mexican punchlines, but I do get the drift of what he's talking about. And it's not like he's attacking Americans or white people or Mexicans or black people, you know, or wetbacks or immigrants. He's attacking the whole the whole idea of how we look at these sort of topics, and to me he's very intelligently attacking them, you know. And then he goes on to sex, how men and women see sex, I know that's very funny as well. I mean his whole show really has got a huge intellectual element to it. I mean, if he was a poem writer or an artist, which in a way he is, he's an artist of words. But I mean, if he was a poet or a literary fucking writer, or a painter, people would love his work. I'm sure many people would love his work. But the fact he's a stand-up comedian, I think it's astounding, the fact that he has not got a wider audience across not just America but in Europe as well. And I'm sure that if he was ever to be invited to play in Europe, he would probably put it off for 6 months in order to learn something about Europe, so that when he came to Europe, he would have Europeanized versions of his jokes, because he's a very intelligent comic. I'm starting to think this guy is going to be a great, if he can extend himself across the Atlantic into Europe. He's probably more trying to fight his way into the north of America at the moment. But if he can adjust some of these jokes, understand more of the world economics, the world political system, the world race sort of balance, and the way that we fight between all the secular little fucking communities in Europe. He could come to Europe and he could blow their minds and be such a fucking great comic. I really do believe he's got the mind and the intelligence to do this. He's like the Mexican, to me, well, maybe not Billy Connolly, but very close to it. This guy could really be a huge Mexican stand-up comedian if he can take some time out, if he can make enough money and take some time out and look at the world, look at Europe, and then change some of these jokes understand that the humour Europe and adjust some of his jokes, that he could be a huge worldwide fucking comic. So I think you should go and watch this guy. I think I gave his name, Carlos Mencia. Yeah, he's fucking amazing, man. He has fucking entertained me. Fucking entertained me, mate. And yeah, I like, the occasional stand. I like some of the southern stand-up and all that. No, but no, I think this guy could really go worldwide. He could go to Europe. He could go to Australia, New Zealand. He could really go across all the Western nations. And I love call obviously Australia and New Zealand, don't call them Western nations, but they're Western nations as far as the same economic level. And I think a lot of what he's saying is a lot of it is economic, and it's all race orientated, which is where the Western nations are, and I include in the Western nations, as I said, Australia and New Zealand, and yeah, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, America, Europe, the whole of Europe, maybe pushing into Eastern Europe, but yeah, they would understand the humour. They would understand that they're racist and the ecumenical and the sort of humour that involves the economy and stuff like that. This guy, I think he's fantastic. You should really go and watch him. So Carlos Mencia, I'll put a link into his full stand-up show, which is about an hour and 14 minutes. I'll put that as a link in this upload, and hopefully you'll go and watch it. It's a bit muted, the sound capture isn't really great, but you can make out almost everything he says. Turn your volume up a little bit, and if you understand Spanish, you will love it even more. I just don't. So I missed some of his the ends of some of his jokes, but yeah, I totally get this guy, and I totally love what he's doing. I'd love him to do a European show if he could ever take the time to sort of work out European versions of his American, his assessment of North America. If he could do an assessment of Europe and come here and do a European, I think I would love it. I really do believe he could do that shit. Anyway, so that's my video now. It's basically just about Carlos Mencia. So I will put this video as a Carlos Mencia please come to Europe video. Swansea fucking var, and I think that's me done. Cheers.